Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yes, of
yeah,
course, it's sort of some respect, right, that it brings to you when you take the floor in front of a huge audience,
yeah,
and you
and
feel yourself like a bit different person.
indeed, yes. And now, if I had this presentation a while ago, probably I told you like I would have my knees shaking.
Mhm.
But English really reflects a lot of things, like it
Mm.
improves
Yeah, by the way.
Russian at the same time. Russian, you know, you improve your native language through English.
Yeah, there is a famous saying. So the more languages you know, so the more times you are the person. Yeah, so
Indeed,
you can
yeah,
see many personalities within you
yeah.
talking in
That's
such a way.
that's the yes. It is what it is. That's the way how a wind blows and how life is. Yeah, and
Mhm.
of course, it's gonna be so beneficial for everyone who learn uh, a few languages and several,
Mhm.
and it works out. Uh, it's proved, by the way. Oh, it's been proven many
Mhm.
times, at least. Yeah. And by the way, today, you know, it's I wouldn't say this is quite fruitful day for me. I went to school, stay a little while out there, and rushed back home. And,
Mhm.
there weren't any English class today. Just what I have done is pretty simple: is to educate myself while
Mhm.
going back. Don't like waste time. You know, I told you this is the worst thing.
Yeah,
If
time is
you
more
have nothing
precious
to
with
do,
money. That's
yes,
right.
yeah, and makes me feel kind of depressed if I
Mhm.
procrastinate and keep up doing that. This is quite important. You know, just our topic. Andrew asked me about the topic, and I told him like, why not take this success and choose the life you want to live? And at
Mhm.
least we can, you know, dream, and at least we seem to be successful in this field to some
Mhm.
extent. Yes, and we can share our experience. Yeah.
So it depends on what you can share. Some people can share money and donate, so
Mm-hmm.
give to charity and stuff like that. So it's if talking with us, so we have accumulated a lot of it, a lot of knowledge. I mean, to share it
Of
with
course.
people.
Yes,
That's right. So it means you possess it. So it's like your ownership of this
indeed.
knowledge. No
Yeah.
one will ever be able to take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
speaking of the term success, by the way, people are used to perceiving that like making fortune. Like if you have a lot of money to spend, so you appear to be successful. But at the same time, success sometimes has nothing to do with money, from my
Mm,
point of view. Of
mhm,
course, it relates to, but as well as, you know, you can be successful but mm, don't feel happy.
be unhappy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So you can really be dissatisfied with the life you're running. Yes, the one
Mm,
you're having, and yeah, people around you can be unhappy with your success sometimes.
mm-hmm.
They can be jealous of you and be looking up at you or looking down, whatever. So this
Yeah,
inner feeling, so it can never be bought and purchased with cash.
indeed. Yep, indeed. And what success is something about, you know, when you can take care of your mind and of your body and health, and
That's right. It's
people,
all
and
around
you're
the
friendly to them.
emotion. Hmm.
Hmm. It defines a lot of things, by the way. Yeah,
Hmm.
and this is might be really good topic to bring up.
That's right.
Yeah, just share our experience and what we
Yeah,
got
I've
through.
actually tried to get in touch with some of my Chinese familiars,
Oh, but
but the guys seem to be a little bit busy. And well, their time right now is in Taiwan, about 11 o'clock p.m. And Chinese people uh, actually are up to turn into bed pretty early, it's about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So they get up early enough at 6, at 5, and get themselves ready and their kids.
What is the time difference? Like
About 6
4,
hours,
6
I believe.
hours.
Time gap is about 5 to 6
5 to
hours. It
6.
depends what the location in China.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly I have familiars from Taiwan, Hong Kong. Just imagine, having someone going live with us, talking,
Yeah, that is.
from the very source of this disease outburst, what the
Mm-hmm.
real state of matter is out there, and sharing this knowledge, and it could really burst, the audience's minds.
Yeah, yeah, it would be really awesome to have people who have witnessed, right, who stay out there and they're native Chinese, and we
Mm-hmm.
can get information from first hand and
Mm-hmm.
without looking at mass media, brain drain mass
Mm-hmm.
media, and yeah, it's really cool, and I would love to come across and just ask questions. What's going
Mm-hmm.
on? What the hell is going on out there?
So how the heck
Uh,
is virus doing there, and
yeah, but
is it booming or is it getting down? Yeah,
yeah,
it'd be really nice, awesome to have someone from out there and sharing knowledge. What's well, but in China, the officials and the news, so it doesn't tell the reality of what's going on, not to rise up some panics among people.
of course, yes, of course, and that's why now there are those who believe the Chinese government lies or diminished a number of people who died just on purpose. Because
Mm-hmm.
the official data about the people got infected is about 70,000 people, but it's not. I believe it's not true, and at least 2 times more, according
Mm-hmm.
to some data, and the death tolls is way higher. Now they have around 2,000 people, but they didn't account or count those who died at homes.
Mm-hmm.
That is really mind-blowing, and of course raising a panic is really negative thing for the world economy, and especially the Chinese economy, right? And uh, it's by the way, the Chinese government does its best, yeah, but at least it looks
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, and they put the whole area on lockdown, and they don't allow anybody move in and move out. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, people think uh, they were late a little. They were late, yes, and uh, um, there might be a lot of people infected, and a great number. Yeah, and what probably uh, what is worst is nobody knows the remedy and cure to heal, to get people, uh, get them on back, yes, on their feet from the disease, and
Mm-hmm.
and of course a lack of facilities, emergency facilities like beds and medicine, drugs play some role in that case. And so I believe people are so scared living in Wuhan. Yeah. And by the way, this is news about uh, about cruise liner Diamond
Mhm.
Princess.
Yep.
Mhm.
So.
This is something what shocked or can shock people. It has been revealed more than 400 people on board got infected.
Mhm.
Yeah, and people appeared to be in a prison, and of
Mhm.
course some of them were allowed to go out, and but there are those who are staying out there, and they don't want to go out because so it's they just either
Yeah,
have a
it's pretty
fear,
bizarre.
afraid, bizarre.
People there are kept hostages, and they
Mm-hmm.
are never allowed to go ashore and get off board. And people, are in huge despair. So
Mm-hmm.
staying there and doing nothing and wasting time. How about jobs and family life and
Yeah,
just unimaginable things? So what's
unimaginable.
going on on the
Mm-hmm.
whole planet? Mm.
Yeah, right. Uh, and just
Mm.
let's see what the future will show us, and um, let's hope for the best. Because Chinese people, I believe, are very good and friendly, and uh, they don't deserve to have such plague in the country. And whatever people say, like they eat animals, or but no, people kill each other.
Mhm.
By the way, and nobody is accused of anyone for killing. Like I mean, of course, accused, but if we look at the wars, how many people have been killed during the over past 20 years, and it's really a horrendous thing. And
Mhm.
because I looked through some comments of what people left about Chinese, and so there were some rude comments in terms of stop eating animals, you deserve that, and etc. This is the only reason why you got this virus, and but
Mhm.
at the same time, we don't know actually whether animals transmitted that virus, or that virus has been worked out in a lab, or
Mhm.
something else, and secret society, or uh, maybe tycoons who, by the way, and I caught myself thinking about the economy. And China, as far as I know, they they remove some trade tariffs in terms of having
Well.
food from the United States, because it's gonna be a lack of food. Yep, and
Mhm.
soybean, they're gonna buy beef, meat, and soya, a lot of that
Do you
stuff.
mean they want to, import this stuff from the US
Yes, because so otherwise it's going to be crisis, food
or
crisis in
starvation?
China.
Because that was the reason for this virus, to go out.
Yep.
Financial issues and
Hmm.
trade wars, yeah,
Trade
and
wars.
so
Hmm.
on and so forth. Well, so many reasons, but still they are unclear to us. So what
Still
was the
unclear.
real
Hmm.
purpose of it? Of
Indeed.
course, it wasn't just for reptiles. Well, of course, it was for reptiles to have done that to humanity, but not for cobras or bats. They have been eating them for centuries, not millennia, and so on. But yeah, someone needed that.
Yeah, reptiles have put anyone at risk and alert in our world
Hmm.
in that case. Yeah, so there might be reptiles or somebody else from some planets,
Hmm.
and secret societies and tycoons. who are running the world, and it's all about financial thing and money, and that
It's all
nobody
about
cares, and
money and depopulation
depopulation.
and the
Yep.
agenda to cut population down to have 1 billion, not 7 billion, increasing 8 billion.
Yeah.
Mm,
And no, some believe that 2 billion is gonna be infected,
mhm.
and there will be some gruesome outcomes. But this is the worst prediction from someone. Yep. And people keep up spreading rumors, and they believe in what they in the way how they perceive things, and yeah. mm, uh,
Mm.
so many rumors circulating.
Yeah, but at the same time, doctors report 80% of people who been previously, ill or sick with this
Mhm.
stuff, so they were successful to recover or to
Mhm.
restore their health to previous condition, yeah, before getting sick. So it
Mhm.
means people have an immune system to fight it back. So they have this power, to overcome it. But
Mhm.
it exactly like affects people over the age of 50 or 60. So the death toll is really high there
Mhm.
uh, at that age. Never
Yeah.
touches youngsters or
Mhm.
people, being the young age.
Mhm. Um,
That's really interesting.
and that's really interesting. And among of those who died, uh, mostly people at age of from 60 or to 70 or 80. Yeah. And in most cases, just elderly people died,
Hmm.
right? Or somebody who had some issues with immune system, like symptoms and flu symptoms, and that is pretty interesting. And if we look at look at the data, like who died or who got infected.
Hmm.
Yes. Um, so, and but at the same time, so it's it's so difficult to elaborate a vaccine. Virus
Hmm.
is being mutated constantly, and it's adjusting human bodies, and it will take maybe 18 months to get a vaccine, at least to get it tested on animals. Yes, and but what will happen in 1 year? Nobody knows.
Hmm.
It's yeah, and mm, really, if we look back to SARS, which China had in 2003, there were much less casualties, victims from that disease. Just
Hmm.
around 800 people uh, died from this outbreak. But
Hmm.
so we've got more than 2,000 for 2 months, according to official data. But unofficial, who knows? The number of them
Hmm.
might be extremely higher.
Anyways, so that could be really awesome to have someone from this source on this outbreak.
Mhm.
Well, regardless, it can be Taiwan. Some people got ill there on that island, and possibly they have their Chinese news in Chinese language, and we could have a better understanding of what's really going on there. I tried to get in touch with some of my familiars
Mhm.
to have them live with us, and we could,
Mhm.
well, make some time certain and get live all together of us to have perfect, record made, and then
Yeah,
afterwards share it.
you know what? All what we need to do is to keep the ball rolling in terms of what we started doing, or what we have been doing almost last 4, maybe 5 months,
Mhm.
to get a grip and uh, set up our speaking club, which is
Mhm.
important. Yes, and of course, the more unusual guests we have, the faster we will take off, right? We
Mhm.
uh, and take off and succeeding on this field. Yeah, and that might be awesome, of course, to have some native speakers
Mhm.
and from the United States to discuss the relations between the United States and Russia, or just people, and what's going on, and how Americans perceive Russians, because they
Mhm.
have a chance to speak in their language, right? And
Mhm.
understand, get
Oh, well,
better
you know, we can
understanding.
actually utilize this program Speaky. Yeah, and get in
Hmm.
touch with some native speakers from the US or
Yep,
even some
speaker.
British. Would be
Hmm.
interesting to have some, for example, one British guy and one from the US
Yeah.
talking to different accents. Just
Yeah.
imagine. Well, so let's
Hmm.
possibly set ourselves a goal to find or to dig out these guys
Yeah. Yeah.
from somewhere out there and have them attached to our conversation.
Yeah.
That
We should
could sound
definitely find
really
them.
amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. Definitely find them and
So
dig
try
out
to find
them.
some contact today, this night, uh, having some guys addressed was such a great request to go on with us.
Yeah, and for our business, it is a necessary thing to do to post video, not at least on a daily basis, at least once in a week,
Once or
maybe
preferably twice a week.
twice a week.
Well, we just need to have some, well, not audience, but active participants. So
Active
we
participant.
have to make friends with some native speakers. It's a
Hmm.
must, I believe. Just imagine having, well, native speakers taking part in our videos, and this way it will, you know, drag people's attention to our
Yeah,
videos, make it more popular.
yeah. At least we have 2 people on board, like
Hmm.
my familiar, my Andrew,
Hmm.
and this girl who I told you before, and
And some
yeah,
guys from outside, from all across the ocean, and having six
mm-hmm,
guys, you know, six is swapping up windows in Zoom
mm-hmm.
that will look a
Yep,
respectable show.
indeed, yeah, and just
Sure
amazing,
will.
amazing if we jet down at the bottom of the screens, like Moscow, Kiev, and New York,
Hmm.
and Sochi, and
Hmm.
yeah, and whatever, Beijing. It's
Yeah,
kind of
so that's right. So we have some
and
interesting ideas that just been worked out by us having someone attracted from outside, and we definitely need to have them all connected to us sometime. And
mm,
today, this coming night, I'm going to, well,
mm,
devote my time finding out some guys out
mhm,
there and
and
writing the messages, asking, so how the heck are you? Would you please be so kind to take part in our show?
yeah. Uh, so I will do my best, whatever I can, to find somebody, uh, somebody worthwhile to take part in our
Yeah,
meeting.
by the way, you remember your time being in Eupatoria?
Yep. Hmm.
That guy
Zach.
from. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right. So have you got his contacts?
Just we haven't been in touch for a couple of months, and I sent him a message, but he missed it. Don't
Hmm.
know what reasons,
Well,
and
he's busy with his
he's
life,
away.
possibly.
Yeah,
Him
yeah,
being a young guy, he's got lots of things to do.
Indeed,
Mhm.
yeah. But of course, it's he. You know, as probably you remember, he's a quite quite a smart guy to take
Mhm.
part. Just
Yep.
in spite of despite the fact he's a teenager, but it's really awesome to talk to him.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah. By the way, how's your day going? And what have you been
It's going
doing
pretty
since
well.
morning?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it looks like, well, I had some things to do about the house and went out, had some session of shopping with my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, and now got back, having some cool meeting right now, having you live, and a little bit later, within this hour, so we together with Andrew going to have some presentation,
Ah,
work down.
okay. Just sounds pretty interesting. Wow. So Andrew is going to present his job to you. Yes, and we both gonna
Well,
check the what?
not really that, yeah, but we are just in the process of polishing or
Ah,
refining,
okay.
because he needs to have it, fully prepared for it until this Thursday. So he's got
Mm-hmm.
2 more days to go and polish it up and
Mm-hmm.
refresh his knowledge of the matter and be fully prepared. So this presentation is going to well, take place by means of Skype or some
No.
other
No.
ways. I don't know, Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like slideshow presentation. He's going to speak in English, and there will be some guys from
Mm-hmm.
Emirates or Dubai and stuff like that. Possibly some Americans. Lots of Americans live in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
So many companies
Mm-hmm.
facilitated in there. Or possibly he could be talking to some Arabic people speaking
Wow.
some corrupted language. Who knows?
Okay, who knows? Anyway, I noticed he speeded up a little in terms of
Mhm.
his speech. Speed up, really.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
he speaks really, really well, fluently. Doesn't have time now to think what
Mm-hmm.
he's going to deliver. Really nice. So what he needs
Yeah.
to do is possibly work his vocabulary a little bit of grammar, but well, he's perfect. Yeah, perfectly well with grammar, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's, I believe, 90% fine
Yeah.
within English.
Oh,
So
what?
despite the fact he hasn't had any practice for 2 years, so that
Mm-hmm.
really struck me down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. All what he needs to do is to set his attention on the
Hmm.
latest news. Yeah. Or
Hmm.
whatever Rex stuff, David Icke might
Hmm.
be so beneficial. I used to, you remember, I used to listen to David Icke a lot. Actually, many phrases and collocations and
Hmm.
sometimes idioms I got from him. And
Hmm.
through his speech, of course, we developed and you can or you help me out, and as well as uh, I was listening to him a lot and try to shadow shadow
Hmm.
him. Yeah,
Like shadow boxing.
shadow
That's right.
boxing.
Yeah, that's why that's supposed to be done for all people striving to pick up some knowledge, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yes, and David Icke is the guy to be listened to, and Rex, of course. So
Rex, of
if
course.
we can say David Icke is the sample or the pattern of British English, yeah, then Rex is the example of American
Mm-hmm.
English, a live and more modern one.
Mm-hmm. And what I love about both of them, they speak decently and they don't cut sounds and
Mhm.
they're like public speakers and
Mhm.
just speak not so fast, but Rex sometimes speaks fast. Yeah, and but when it comes to David Icke, he pronounced every word and just every article, I would say.
With
Yes,
beautiful
beautiful
British manner,
manner.
beautiful
Yes,
British accent, as
accent.
of as if of Queens. Yeah, I believe David Icke's accent is even more beautiful than what Queen
Mhm.
has.
Yeah, at least it looked like what he does is amazing, and exposing the truth, or at least he has this alternative point of view on the
Mhm.
history and politics, financial system. And if I'm not mistaken, he has been able to predict many things before they happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
he possesses his analytical mind, and once you know, kind of intelligent person, you could think ahead, yeah, and predict things that's going to happen factually in the coming days, the coming time, and it's not a big deal. You know, it was not a big deal to predict what could happen in Iran.
Sure.
So we spoke about it, I believe, maybe a few years ago or so on, and I told you there should be some disturbance in the coming next, Muslim country, and well, that's
Mhm.
what really happened.
Yeah, finally it happened in Iran and
Mm.
Iraq.
They just have to be smart to see a little bit ahead what's going to unfold in the coming years.
And he laid out that idea of cutting down the population, by the way.
Hmm.
And so in a way, probably we are seeing now, and either would be war or a virus. It's all about cutting down the population, and it happened in the 20th century and during the Second World War. Now there is no reason to have a war. Just all what you should do is to spread a virus among countries. That's it.
Hmm.
And nobody feels protected right now. I would say unprotected. And
Hmm.
no weapons, just people use some smart stuff, spreading some chemicals, and
Yeah, like this,
that leads to
it's quiet war.
quite war.
Doesn't make sense to launch rockets or kill soldiers.
Yeah,
Mm.
indeed. Uh, yeah. By the
That's
way,
how things are. Hmm.
how things are, yeah. So today now I turned on TV and uh, I saw the situation over a border between Ukraine and Donetsk is
Yeah, so
getting
it's really
worse and
hideous
worse.
what's going on. It's
Mhm,
breaking news for the whole planet, for
mhm,
Europe, and even the US, reflected on this aggravating situation. So our news,
mhm,
keeps telling us that these militants, decided to, well, trespass these
mhm,
agreements, and they started, assaulting our positions. And
mhm,
well, these guys, from illegal uh, formations, yes, and they claim that it was just for Ukrainian army to break this stuff, but actually, uh, our
mhm,
guys, they sit just there in trenches and defending.
mhm.
So for them, it doesn't make any sense to attack.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things we do know for sure. Yes, according to mass media and Russian mass media, of course, they put forward the idea of a violation the border and like Ukrainian forces attack the position of Republic, Lugansk Republic, and some soldiers were undermined, like they perished, unfortunately, and actually it is war or informational war of information of etc.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, just ordinary people ordinary people suffer, and that is, I don't know, the kind of conflict which should be definitely stopped at
Mm-hmm.
any time soon, and both parties should make a peace and just sit at the table to negotiate things, at least. But I believe there is something hidden anyway. It's not about like uh, territories and people. I believe that is about influence in this region, and of some maybe powers, and it's all about money, of course. And because from Russian point of view, Russia doesn't want to have a close to have the United States at its border, next right its border. Yes, and just that's the way it is, unfortunately. Yep, and people die, and from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now, what strikes me, uh, uh, among them, actually a lot of young people, just young men, just who just don't see the life themselves. That is kind of really uh, awful to see, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. Yeah, and of
Yeah,
course,
let's
it
see what's
might be
going
it's
to
a
come out of this
proxy
escalating
force,
conflict.
and
Hmm.
yes, yeah, it's kind of
Hopefully, nothing
stuff.
would come out of this. Uh,
Hmm.
I listened to one guy.
Hmm.
Actually, I watched his video on YouTube, and well, his interesting idea and concept that Ukraine will never, how to say, going to be um, well, like the unity, yeah, of
Hmm.
the whole people living in the country. So it has to be some part of, or whether it could be Russian or United Nations
Hmm.
or whatever it could be, but it can never stand alone. It has to be a part of something, like of some union of
Hmm.
Belarus and Russian and Ukraine. Or so if it doesn't go this way, it has to get attached to Europe and United Nations, whatever, and so Ukraine has to make its way, but it will never stand like uh,
Hmm.
the country of its own.
It's having its integrity. Yes,
Yeah,
like.
its location in terms of geopolitics is really
Mhm.
huge and significant. And
Yes,
America,
there are those who are
Europe,
inclined to believe that's the way to go. Yeah, but uh, so just look at who lays out these ideas, and I don't think that uh, the vast majority of people want to see Ukraine separated. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's all about uh, policy and
mhm,
politicians, and who sometimes has no idea or have no idea what they are spelling out. Just they do
mhm,
that for their interest, and people are sick and tired to see things
mhm,
constantly. Somebody is trying to break out this conflict, like fuel it from both
mhm,
sides, and really which is not good. And it's it's crazy. It's really things are getting crazy from both sides. Yeah, and So
It's all about money.
that's the hell,
Always
really,
nice.
like the
Money
hell. You
matters.
know, yeah.
Mhm.
And I can imagine how people can live out there. By the way, being in the at the front line. Yes, so
Mhm.
how they they can
It's
be
not
shelled.
living. It's well, process of surviving or
Mhm.
survival. Being shelled every day, a single day. I watched some videos from those districts and areas and towns and the villages, and kids at the age of 8 or 10, they say, "Well, we are used to
Mhm.
this sounds of explosions and stuff like that." So happening just around their school. That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, yeah. And at least
Just people got used to war going on around them.
Mhm. Yeah, and 5 or 6 years ago, just there was a peaceful place. By the way, I was in Donetsk in 2013. Yes. Mhm. And 1 month after we started learning English. Yeah, but really awesome city, big city with quite friendly people. At least uh, they look like that. Yes, and so for people from mainland, from Russia, it was really cool to be out there because the prices were much cheaper than in Moscow, and people were friendlier, I would say. And I got into a restaurant and a local bar and spent about 2,000 rubles and got
Mhm.
almost everything. Just everything, like creams and salads. It's unbelievable. It wasn't impossible to have some food in Moscow for such price. Yes, and uh, but so it is what it
Mhm.
is. Yes,
Mhm. That's
it is
how
what it
things
is.
are,
How
and
things are. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
All right. So we have our tasks, set, attracting some native speakers to get connected to us, to have uh, our show at its best, what it can look,
Mm. Yeah.
of course. And also, always forget to dig out some information about this Zoom. Yeah, how to
Mhm.
attach our videos and speaking faces to the commented stuff, like
Yeah.
bbc.com or whatever. Possibly, we could get to this sharing screen after look through it or listen through it and get back to our finish sharing screen to have our faces seen back.
Yeah, we should definitely dig out or drill down towards that direction. And
Mhm.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So let's see. Tomorrow, you seem to be pretty busy, or not, in the evening.
Not. Let's get together tomorrow in the evening.
All right. So we're having two classes with Peter
Uh,
till five
mhm.
o'clock, I bet. So somewhere around 6 o'clock. Would suit
Peter
our
seems
best,
like
I believe.
the only person who doesn't love discussing wars and and
Hmm.
viruses. Just he
But
wants.
that's the reality, unfortunately. That's the reality that's going on around us. And anyway, we are a part of this reality. So we can have full rights to have our thoughts put to that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hmm. Yeah, and once Peter takes off, and I believe we will hear from him
Yeah,
a
he
lot
will
of
join us
new
up.
recipes, food,
Hmm.
and fashion, and that's
Hmm.
it.
Somewhere in June or July, maybe earlier. Who knows? I believe May.
Hmm.
Why not? We could try it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Well,
right. So get together
so far,
tomorrow
so good. Yeah, tomorrow
evening.
at about 6 or 7. So let's see. We'll exchange lines up to that moment, and we'll see what could be done. Yeah, it's much better, to have someone live with us from Europe because this time difference is
Mm.
minor than
Yeah.
2 hours. 3 hours, but China 4, 5 hours, and we need to fit in the time. And we're having our live stuff at about 3 p.m. That their time is 9 or 8 before drifting off to bed. And
Or just,
the US, yeah, guys. So if
I,
now we are about 7 o'clock, but their time is afternoon time. Well, that could be a case, by the way. Our evening time and their afternoon time.
well, you are telling things right now. The one thing now popped out in my mind. I have a familiar living in Greece. Yeah. So just so now he was born in Russia, but moved to Greece many years ago. Of course, he speaks Russian as well as English, and maybe just I will drop him a line and invite him to take part in our conversation. So at least we could figure out his point of view about everything, policy and etc. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you for being with me.
Yeah, that's perfect stuff. So we are used to doing it almost every single day. I would wish it to be so, but anytime, anywhere, it does good to people around us, not only to us. Yeah, cool. Somewhere around 6, 7 p.m. tomorrow, our meeting time, and let's see if we could, join guys to our talk.
Yeah. See ya. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, take care. Bye bye. Enjoy your evening. See you.
See you.